Hello, this is John, host of Mgtow is Freedom. We're going to talk about equal pay for men and women and why feminists are going to always, forever, cry for more money. Because they're not realistic. Let's get down to it. They are not realistic. They don't think like human beings. Feminists don't. They think through a very skewed, narrow tunnel. They have tunnel vision. And even the ones that make the policy for other feminists to choke down or take as a suppository, even the ones that make the policy or come up with the talking points and the little glib sound bites that they use to attack other people, even they probably don't get it. Women will never get the same pay on average as men, even with severe social engineering and guidelines in place. The reason is that there is a percentage of women, whether feminist or not, that are going to want to have babies. And they're going to want to have babies for a number of reasons. Their maternal instincts overcome them, but that doesn't mean they love men and they're not going to be a feminist. Okay, that is a big one. They're going to want to have babies. Their husband makes them do it, so they give them that. They just want to make sure they get child support in addition to their alimony. Whatever their reasons as individual feminists is, the ones in charge will not ever accept that because women get pregnant and they stay out of the workplace and that they make their children a bigger priority. I'm not saying they're good moms by any stretch of the imagination when I talk about feminists. I think they're horrible moms because they instantly and fully indoctrinate their daughters especially, but also their sons. They go about emasculating them. Fortunately, my sons are badass little men, and they don't put up with that type of shit. But I digress. They are missing from work, so they can never promote as fast as other men. Even if those women have the same skills and competency and drive that men have. But let's look at those things. Skill, competency, drive. Okay, by skilled, I mean precision. I mean focusing on your job. If you're too busy worrying about your nails or checking your Facebook when you go pee all the time, are you really applying your skills? No, you're distracted all the time, feminists. You're distracted. So you're pregnant and you're not at work, you're not going to get promoted, you're not going to get more pay. You're not as skilled as men on average because you're not focused. Overall competency, let's just talk about this. Women on a much higher level than men operate from a feelings-based, emotional-based perspective. In that condition, in that frame of mind, the emotional frame of mind, your competency level cannot be high as a man's. Period. Because if you're emotional, you are not thinking logically. The two are mutually exclusive. Meaning if you're 50% emotional and 50% logical, you're operating on half logical capacity. We aren't even talking about overall intelligence, IQ, training, right? We're not talking about applied skill. We're just talking about whether or not you're an emotional thinker or a logical thinker. Because of that, the decisions you make as a woman are going to, on average, feminists, be less competent than that of a man. Because of that, you're going to make more bad decisions over a career. And because of that, you're not going to get the same pay. Period. Period. And now let's talk about drive. Men have testosterone, feminists. If you have testosterone, it's because you're taking hormone replacement therapy or hormone therapy of some sort, trying to get some edge that men have that you don't naturally. Because you as feminists are not willing to accept your role in life as the vagina keeper. Okay? You want to be a man so bad you can't stand yourself. Literally, you hate yourself, feminists. That's why you act like men. That's why you are female masculists. You're not really feminists, you're female masculists. You'll never get the equal pay of a man on average. And the pay you get now, I'm going to say, is too much. because it's based on a bunch of bullshit. How many years have you been in your particular job? Have you met the prerequisites for the next raise? In school, you call it social promotion. Social promotion in school. That kid's been here. He went through the motions. He passed his classes, kind of. Move him up to the next grade. Get him out of school. Get him into the system. There is the similar type of financial compensation promotion in the professional world, in the private sector, and more so in the government sector, where women are given raises they don't deserve because they haven't earned them. Period. Argue with me if you've got a great argument. You want to call me names? Every man on here is going to jump your shit. And probably the women too. Because the ones that know better, know better. And let's just talk about what you see when you see women doing things. We're talking about the competency level. We're talking about the competency level here. When you see a man on his cell phone, when you see a man at his desk, are you more likely to see work-related content on his computer? Or are you going to see Candy Crusher, sexy kittens, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram? Are you going to see those on a man's computer at work? Or are you going to tend to see more work-related material? Material related to his profession. I'm going to tell you right now, especially in the government, but even in the private sector, when you see women at a desk, they will have additional windows open to all of their social media crap. And I don't blame them because they are emotional creatures. Say they're 50% emotional creatures, 50% logical. The 50% emotional needs to be fed. That desire of theirs to see what's going on in their world and their kids and the people they're stalking, the ones they love and the ones they hate that they have to stalk and fuck with. They need that attention, these feminists do. They crave attention. And that's why they're all over Facebook posting their tuna sandwich, posting their favorite glass of wine, posting the picture of the kitten they saw outside, and then talking about how they fed it and how they took good care of the kitten and they saved a kitten's life. It's all a bunch of self-gratification bullshit. So the competency, the drive, and the skill level that women have is affected by their very nature, feminists. All women are affected that way. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying all women are affected that way. So when you turn around and say, well, women on average are getting less than men for doing the same job, you're not doing the same job. On average, you're doing a lot less for the same work because you're not doing the same work. I don't know how many times I've had this argument, and I just happened to bring it to Mgtow is freedom. How many times I've had this argument with men, with women, with young women, with teachers. Bunch of pseudo-intellectual academic fuckheads is what they are. I think women are being overpaid. But look at how all of the men, all of the people who pay taxes, who are consumers, have to pay for this. There is inefficiency in the workplace if less work is being done and there is more screwing around. And I'm not talking about making a YouTube video on your lunch break. Okay? I'm talking about when you're supposed to be at your desk working, when you're supposed to be in the restaurant working, when you're supposed to be in the office working or in the boardroom. When I walk by and look at people's phones, I see what they're looking at. I don't have to read the content I see. Is it a game or is it work related? And I see people in board meetings playing with their phones. Is it work or is it screwing around? I see an awful lot of screwing around. And yeah, it's anecdotal, what I see. But many, many, many men report the same things I do. And the problems you see in the private sector are even worse in the government sector. Because it's harder to get fired, because they're union. And these feminist women, these masculized females, that think they're in there kicking some ass at their job, they're just fucking around. They can't even be honest with themselves because they've been so brainwashed to believe that they're doing the same job as a man they really think they are, even though they're checking on their favorite nail color or their availability of tickets to go see the the Barbara Streisand. I'm sorry, Barbara Streisand. Right, the tribute to Barbara Streisand. Anyways, this is what I say. This is why I say look at it. Look at it critically. Analyze things. Why do men get paid more? And all men don't get there. All men don't get to be supervisors. All men don't get to be upper management. All men don't get to be CEOs and chairmen of the board. All men are not successful business owners for a variety of reasons. And a lot of them have the same things to do with what I've discussed with women. Their skill level, their competency level, their drive. If they don't have all those things, they're not going to make it. But it is the emotional factor that holds women back naturally. It is their desire, because of hormonal issues, to want to have children, and it takes them out of the workforce. It's not their fault either there. And they don't have testosterone, which gives a man his drive. Okay, it gives us a sex drive. It gives us a professional drive. A drive to not only survive, but to excel and dominate. Conquer. Win. Not whine, complain, backstab, screw off. That's the difference between men and women on average. Men's level is higher. Period. Period. What do you guys think? This is John, host of Mgtow is Freedom. Subscribe, like, comment. Lots of good sponsors that get popped up on here. It cracks me up how it's a Mgtow channel, and I see advertisements for marrying Asian girls and Tinder and all these stupid hookup sites. You know, we're trying to get a hold of our lives and a good grasp on what's going on with these feminist bitches, and all these ads pop up. It's funny as hell. Anyways, you guys have a great day, a great weekend. Stay frosty, stay sharp. Mgtow is freedom. I have the penis. Bye-bye.